Hi, everybody. I am so excited to be with you guys tonight. And I think the conversation is going to be amazing. We're going to talk about the power of microgreens. We're going to talk about how easy they are to grow. We're going to talk about why they're really fun to add to all of the things you love to eat every day. And then we're going to learn from Emily why it's really important to incorporate them into your diet. And I think nutritional health is something that is really part of self care, but it's also something that we can all think about a little bit differently. It doesn't have to be really complicated. So Emily's going to go into the why we should be eating and enjoying microgreens. But I'm going to start this evening by letting my special guests introduce themselves. And I am so honored to be with Clayton and Emily tonight. So, Emily, tell us a little bit about you and how you got involved in the microgreen story.
Sure. I am an integrative nutrition health coach. I'm a nationally board certified coach, which means the National Board of Medical Examiners recognizes me with the certification. And then I'm also a diabetes prevention program trained lifestyle coach. So I backed into microgreens really because one of my first clients had cancer. And Dr. Michael Krieger, if you know who he is, he started nutritionalfacts.org and he wrote a book called How Not to Die. And one of the first things he talks about are how important broccoli is and cruciferous vegetables. But the one thing he says about microgreens is you get 40 times more nutrients from that immature plant. And so that's why I really tell all of my clients that microgreens is the key to anything to do with nutritious lifestyle. I mean, it put them on anything. They're delicious.
I love that. And as you guys are listening throughout the conversation, feel free to ask any questions. If you have specific questions about the nutritional value, throw them up there. Clayton, tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah, so my story started, I'm a chef by trade. So working in restaurants in Texas, New York, Seattle, I was working in restaurants and noticed a consistent problem amongst chefs that they have a hard time sourcing quality and sustainable and responsibly grown produce. And I wanted to solve that issue. So I started selling hydroponic produce to restaurants to try to reduce the carbon footprint that it takes to harvest and deliver food, and just provide more nutrient dense produce to urban areas.
I love that. And you know what, I think that when we think about a chef, it can be a little intimidating. So you're going to kind of break that down for us in a
Yes.
little bit. But I want to just quickly introduce myself. I'm one of the co-founders of Gardenuity, and we're all about nutritional health, mental health, and the health of the planet. And we want to make the benefits of gardens and gardening experiences accessible to absolutely everyone. So whether you're on a high rise in New York or you're in a wheelchair in Dallas, Texas, you should be able to reap the same benefits. The other thing I want to think about is we talk about rethinking the garden. And tonight, Emily's going to shed some light on how to rethink some of the nutrients in foods you eat and your own health. And Clayton's going to talk about rethinking how you upgrade from a nutritional value some of your favorite recipes. So let's start. I'm going to show you how easy it is to put a microgreen garden together. We do have a couple of examples that were planted, I think about 6 days ago. So we'll go into that. But really simply, everything, when you grow microgreens, you really don't want it to be too daunting. You want it to be compact. You want it to be simple and seamless, especially if the idea of gardening is intimidating. And so again, we want to rethink the gardening experiences. So everything starts, we've got these really great containers that were designed. They go in the dishwasher, which is simple. This is your germination tray. It also goes in the dishwasher. It's divided into two, so you can grow two different crops at the same time, and we'll get into that in a minute. And then we germinate on these special germination foundation pads. And these are plant-based. They're made of BioStraight. And we absolutely love the creator of them. They're so smart and really take biotechnology to the next level. But for our take, they're the perfect way to germinate these beautiful seeds. So what we do first is we go ahead and we pour some water right into the vessel, right to where it's just touching the bottom of the germination tray. Then we're going to take the germination pads. We're going to actually dunk them in a little water. We're going to wring them out. And this simply is we want to make sure the seeds have all the moisture they need so that they can germinate quickly and you can begin to enjoy them. So remember, we filled the vessel with water just up to the top of the steel tray. And then we've taken the germination foundation mats and gotten them nice and wet, wrung them out, and then we include seeds. And so we source our seeds a lot of the same way Clayton sources seeds. Do you first source them by flavor profile or nutritional profile?
I first do it by flavor profile since I'm dealing with
chef,
chefs and
yeah.
they care more about the flavor. So yes, I'm going for flavor.
And what's your number one?
My number one
requested microgreens.
Number one requested are bull's blood beets. So super dark purple, a little sweet, a little bitter, and that's our biggest seller just because the pop of color is so nice on the plate.
I love that. And Emily, you talked about the number one microgreen that you tell your clients is really the broccoli. Is that right?
Yes, because it's got the polyphenols in it and the things that are really good for you that are so supportive of your body and help regulate blood sugar levels. But I will add something that Clayton mentioned is that each variety of microgreens does something different for your body. Like cilantro microgreens detoxifies your liver. So you can kind of like, if you're more interested in the nutrient side of it, look at the different types of microgreens and choose the one that works best for you. And if you want to regulate your blood sugar levels, they all pretty much do it. But broccoli is the best.
Okay, I love that. And so I'm going to do, I'm first going to plant some arugula. And literally, remember, we fill the vessel. And then we just sprinkle the pre-measured seeds, and we actually source seeds from some of the best seed breeders in the country. And we're really particular. And then on the other side, I'm going to do superfoods microgreens, which is something that my family, we grow these all the time. And we, at our house, Clayton, we call them sprinkles. So because who doesn't like a sprinkle? So we put sprinkles on everything we eat. And so now you're just sprinkling them right on top of the moistened germination mat. And it's as simple as that, kind of spread them out. And then we include a mister because you really want to give these seeds every opportunity to sprout quickly. And so you're going to mist them and make sure they've got moisture coming from the bottom up. And now they've got moisture from the top down. And then we take the instruction card literally and place it right on top until you see the seed sprout. And that's anywhere from 2 to 3 days. And it's different for all of them. So let's say one half sprouts a little more quickly. You just fold it and put it over the other half. You just want to keep the seeds kind of quiet and covered until they've broken out of their seed shell. And then I do mist them every day. And literally in 7 to 10 days, you've got microgreens ready to harvest. And they smell fresh. And it's really gratifying. You know, we talk about the wellness benefits of gardening. And one of the wellness benefits that we talk a lot about is mental health. Well, the joy of seeing something grow so quickly, it's so gratifying. I mean, how many things do we do that just take forever? This actually grows really quickly. And I think it's fun every day to see them kind of come to life because the seed's job is to grow. We're helping that seed grow. And in the kit, like this is a Sips and Dips collection, you get 4 different varieties. and 4 different foundation sheets, but it's all about the idea of growing and harvesting and then eat and repeat. So that leads us to you. So talk about, I have so many questions. How do you get a family who doesn't love veggies to start eating microgreens?
So I think the key about getting a family that doesn't eat a lot of microgreens, start getting them is to start slow and integrate them in things that they're already eating. So 2 things that I like to do that I keep in the house all the time was, one is a microgreen compound butter. So how you take that is you take butter. You can use regular butter, vegan butter. You can use clarified butter, which is going to have less fat because it's not going to have the milk solids. And then you take that, you chop up your favorite microgreens. Let's say this mix right here, the superfoods mix. You can take some radish, some broccoli, arugula is going to have a nice peppery, a little bit of spice, a little nice flavor, and you chop those up real delicately. And then you add in some lemon zest, some chopped garlic, and a splash of red wine vinegar. Mix that together, mold it. You can leave it in the bowl that you're mixing it in, or take a little bit of parchment paper and roll it like a log of butter. Put that in the fridge, and then that can go on anything. That can go on, it's really good on grilled meat, such as you can top that with some steak, on chicken, even finishing some seafood such as shrimp or scallops. Also really good mixed in pasta or on roasted vegetables. Anything that you're already eating, this can go right on top and just kind of sit right in there, and you're still going to get a little bit of nutrients from there as well. The second thing I would say is a whipped goat cheese.
Okay.
So the first thing I'll do is I'll take my food processor or blender and take some goat cheese, a little bit of honey, olive oil, a little bit of seasoning. You want to hold off on the microgreens because if you're too aggressive with the microgreens with the blender or food processor, you'll bruise them and mess them up a little bit.
Okay.
So you don't want to do that. You blend that up until it's whipped into a whipped consistency, fold in the microgreens, and then that's really good if you want to put it on a sandwich, if you want to put it on a charcuterie board, or on if you do like veggie chips or dips and stuff like that. It's really good for that. And the good thing about both of these recipes are, if maybe you don't like radish or don't like broccoli or arugula, it's very versatile on what you can add. You can add pea shoots, you can add some of these chives like we have right here. If you want a more herbaceous flavor, you can add in some cilantro, and you're still gonna get a little bit of that nutrients from the microgreens as well.
So let me ask you this: when chefs are preparing new recipes,
Okay.
I know they change out their menu seasonally.
Yes.
Are they thinking about the nutritional profile of the recipes, or are they truly just thinking about the flavor profile?
I would say most of the restaurants, especially the ones that I'm selling to, are strictly about flavor.
Okay.
Flavor and color.
Okay.
Yeah, so hopefully we can change that, about them being more conscious about the health benefit. That's
Right.
what I'm trying to move towards.
Yeah.
But at the moment, they're more focused on the show, right?
So when they put microgreens on top of something, 10 years ago, it might have been just to make the plate look good.
Yeah.
But now they're doing it because it does add a flavor level to the meal. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So like you just said, a while ago, it was just maybe like a few little microgreens on top. And now, as the years progress, you see chefs using more and more microgreens as less of a garnish and more as a component to the plate to, like you said, add a nice punch of flavor.
So I'm thinking, if I sprinkle on microgreens on a pizza, I feel less guilty.
Absolutely.
Because we're doing something good.
Yeah, pizza, burgers, all that.
Okay.
You can go on anything.
Yeah, I love that. In a minute, we'll talk about harvesting. But Emily, I want to turn it over to you because you talked about the different microgreens have different health impacts. But overall, talk about if you were introducing microgreens to one of your clients, and Emily is based in New York, but she has clients actually globally. If you are introducing microgreens and they're a little skeptical, how do you introduce and sell it to them?
Well, I talk about the benefits of them, and there's so many. But I do say one of the things you guys should know is the average American eats 10 to 15 grams of fiber a day, and that is really low. The USDA recommends 25, and our ancestors were eating 100 to 150 grams of fiber. So it is certainly a great way to get fiber in your diet. And by the way, fiber is the first thing you need to eat before you eat anything on your plate, because it helps you digest properly and slower. And if you're looking to lose weight, that's the number one way to do it, is have lots of fiber. It's kind of counterintuitive to what we think. You know, sometimes you hear a lot about, oh, bulking up, this fiber, but fiber is really good for you and it slows down your digestion, and that's what you want to do. The other thing is it helps your immunity system. It helps your skin health. It helps your heart. So there are so many reasons why they should be added to your diet, and it's just an easy fix for a lot of things, and it's an easy way to just add on a salad. You know, I'm blown away by what Clayton does with microgreens, but I eat them on my salads every day. So you know, you can go really crazy over it, but you know,
And it's true, they don't, when you cook them, they lose some of their nutritional impact.
Yeah, absolutely. And Emily, maybe you can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but the higher the temperature, the less nutrients that they will have. So it's best to keep them as raw as possible. A little bit of heat won't kill them, but you want to avoid high heat at all costs.
So if I'm making a soup, I want to sprinkle it after, right before I serve the soup.
Absolutely. Yep.
yeah.
Okay, I like that. So Emily, if somebody has, let's say you got a tough client who really loves the Pop-Tart and the Lucky Charms and the spaghetti, what's the first thing that you could do to say, okay, we're going to try to develop your taste buds to like something healthy?
Well, I mean, with microgreens, I mean, you and I have talked about this. You can put it on pizza. You can put it in desserts. So there are lots on your eggs. So there are lots of ways you can add microgreens, and just, you know, from a health coaching perspective, if somebody's not eating greens, that would be the number one thing that I would try to get them to do over the course of my 3-month program. And you have to start small. So microgreens are a great way to start small with vegetables. So if you think about it, because they're pretty easy, they're very accessible. And the other thing I will say about microgreens that I love, especially what you're doing, Donna, with it, is the soil has been tainted in the U.S. We have every crop is sprayed with Roundup, 70% of our crops. So we really want to look for good, clean crops and vegetables to eat. And that's what I love about these microgreens, is it's really clean food.
Well, and I do love, you know, I think mindfulness is great. I think mental clarity comes from good nutrition, but I think it's also so gratifying to actually grow something and know it's good for your family.
Absolutely.
Even if you're sprinkling it on a taco or on salmon or avocado toast. So that actually leads me to a question, Emily. Avocado toast is like the darling of Instagram, right? People are putting everything under the sun on it. But microgreens, if you like avocado toast and you're a big fan of the avocado, microgreens are an easy addition, right?
Oh yeah, and I do that all the time. I actually make mine with sourdough bread and toasted with sometimes I'll add some canned wild salmon on there just to get some protein in there. But you know, avocados are so good for you too, because they have a lot of fiber and a lot of omega-3s in them. So you add the omega-3s on top, and then you're getting that boost of your polyphenols from the microgreens on top of that. So it's really great. You can sprinkle a little bit of chili pepper flakes, and that makes it gives it a little bite to it. But one of the best things I eat. I love it. So
okay, so Clayton, if I'm having people over for brunch,
Okay.
and I want to impress them,
Okay.
what's a toast or how would you prepare avocado toast?
So I like Emily's start with the toasted sourdough bread.
Okay.
I'll do the avocados, but then I will make some quick pickled onions.